to get a nice sharp wing.
I use this game to go into.
See?
I know.
Don't listen to me, I know. Okay, so now it's sharp again and we go again. As close as possible to the lash line. Open. Open. You see how it gets that nice look? And now take my finger and swipe to kind of drag it. Open. Ooh la la. What do you think of that? Now, you can keep the look as simple as this and just put mascara. You can wear lashes with it. So I'll also show you how to apply the lashes. Sometimes with a look like this, I like to keep the bottom of the eyes clean because I find it just looks really elegant. I'm just going over this here to darken the wing a bit. Now applying this for yourself, you want to get yourself on a table with a mirror facing this way. One of those mirrors that you could kind of angle and turn, and you're going to look down and you're going to just pull the eye taut a little, close the eyes, and I like to lift the brow because you get that full effect, and then do as close to the lash line as possible. That's an easier way to apply it on yourself. Probably can't see it too well. We're just going to apply some mascara. So if you have lashes like Leanne for miles and miles and miles, you don't need lashes. Or if you do and you just like the drama, you can do the lashes anyways. But do your mascara first. I mean, you can do it after, but that's only if you're not trying to keep the lashes. But if you want to reuse the lashes, do your mascara first. Look up. And just kind of gently shimmy the mascara one below to get the lashes without getting all over the skin. Now her lashes curls up all the time, so I'm just going to try and brush them out so that I have more control when I'm laying the lashes. And if you have very curly lashes, you might want to do this too. You can buy a disposable mascara one and just kind of comb it out. So now you can either apply individual lashes, which aren't as bad as you think, especially if you have them in clusters. So some of them sell where they cluster in threes. Those are really easy to apply. I get these in Pennywise. Or you can get, and you want them to have a very thin lash band. So the lash band is invisible. Because it's easier to apply and it's not as stiff. The stiff ones tend to give people trouble because it's really hard to apply because it never sticks down easily. You always need a pair of scissors and tweezers. And I like using this glue, Super Stronghold. I think it's from Kiss Envy. This one is waterproof, latex free, non-comedogenic, so it's not irritating, and waterproof. I said that before and I'll say it again, it's great. Especially if you're gonna, in the future, ever get married or you wanna go out somewhere and like carnival and you're afraid you want long lasting hold, this is the best. I find personally, if I do say so myself. Right. So you're going to want to measure the lashes against your natural lash line. Open. So Leanne's eyes are very almond shaped, so she won't need to really trim it. But if you feel like it's extending past your eye, you need to trim that excess off. So we just measured them. I'm only going to clip off. You may not be able to see, but there's always a piece of plastic that always sticks out from the tip at the front and the bottom here. And that tends to stick people in their eyes, so I like to trim that first. And I like this glue because it has a brush, and you can brush it on the edge.
If you get this glue at Wonderful Glue.
Yes.
So I have it as well.
Wonderful glue. And don't go and buy out my glue at people. Lots of people I feel like don't even realize how good this glue is. Because I always find it. It never selling out. This glue is the best thing I've ever used. I used to use Duo, which was pricier and doesn't last as long. But the reason we use Duo when I worked at MAC is because it isn't, I don't think it has latex. And a lot of people are allergic to latex. So you want to just fan the lashes. So I just applied it to the tip with the brush. And you want to fan the lashes a bit until it gets a little tacky. You don't want to apply it directly. Now, because your lashes are a little curled, you're applying this as close as possible to the lash line. And you're pushing it in. You can use your fingers if you're applying it for yourself. Just for hygienic purposes, I'll use the tweezers. And I have this little fan that I use, or you could just, you know what I used to use? Is this dead? Yes, it is. I used to use this and fan, so you can do that too. I'm just gonna get my fan. Have a backup always. And if you really, really feel like you need this fan in your life, Amazon. You can get it off of Amazon. They have them for like 10 US, they're cheap. Right now, I'm just gonna go back in with a disposable mascara wand. It's always good to kind of brush your lashes into the lash strip so it looks natural. Okay, very beautiful, y'all. I'm going to show you an alternative method to applying the lashes. So you're struggling with this long strip and you feel like you can't do it on your own. That's me. I'm sure you did a class.
No, I got better after you gave me the hint.
Yes.
The tips. You all really
Okay.
need to listen to this tip.
Okay, y'all. This tip of the day. After you've measured the lashes and you clip the ends off to suit your natural lash line, you're gonna find the middle of the lashes and you're gonna clip down the middle and split them into two. Rest them back in here just like you clipped it so that you don't get confused with which side goes on the inner part of the eye. But almost lashes tends to be shorter for the inner part and much longer to flare out at the outer part of the eyes, the outer corners. So I like to apply the outer corners first. If you're doing it for yourself, you apply the outer corners first and you're not going to extend the natural lashes, the natural lash line. You're keeping it within. You put your glue again, you brush it on, only onto the band. You fan your lash again. And then I'm only pushing down her lashes because it curls a bit. You go in as close as possible to the natural lash line. And you're keeping it within the bracket of her natural lashes, the natural lash growth. Now you're going to do the same for the inner corner, but what you're going to do, and you need to remember to do, when you're applying this, you're applying it to meet where the other lash ends, where you cut it. So it looks natural. So again, you brush your glue on. Don't put too much glue, but put enough to make sure it will not unstick. Find your glue, and then you're applying it where the lash ends from the last one that you stuck on. As closely as possible to the lash line. Oh, wrong hand. Make sure it's stuck on properly. And then I'm taking my disposable mascara wand and I'm brushing her natural lashes into the strip lash so that it has more of a natural finish. You want it to look seamless almost. Like, it's obvious it's not your lashes, but the more natural, the better. Very lovely. Very beautiful.
Like about some places where they just age. If you have money, you go to Paro or something like that. You know, always cry.
I don't know where he's going, bro.
But you know, when you want to stay here, or you're still out and
So I like using a brow gel. It's probably best to wipe the tip off because it always puts too much product on. And then I like to brush through the brows. That's given you have brows, and I'm going to show you how to sculpt them if you don't have as many brow hairs. She has such nice brows, she doesn't actually need to shape it, but I'm still going to show you how, because not everybody has full brows. Okay, next one. I'm just brushing. So tinted brow gels are always nice anyways, because even if you have sparse brows, it kind of keeps the brows more a lot more controlled. Just using a brush. I'm going again. No, she really does not need more brows. She is blessed in the brows, y'all. But I like using a brow pomade. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills. You don't need this. You can use a brow pencil, which might actually be easier. But I just got so accustomed to using a pomade and an angled brush. That's what it looks like if you can't see. If you can't, it's just an angularly shaped brush. And a little brown pomade. I'm gonna get enough product on the brush itself. So people who might have a little sparseness in between, this almost helps you to create like brow strokes. And you can add back in any length if you're missing a little hair growth in between. Or in the front if you feel like you need a little extra. This is really what this product was designed for, to create brow stroke effects. you really need a steady hand, and you need to sit at a table, I think, and anchor your elbow on a table while you're doing it. Press your hand against your face like this so that you have control. And you want the flat part of it to be on the brow itself, and you don't want to be feathering because you won't have a nice clean line. She has nice, clean brows. And we're almost done. So 95% of the look is done, but we're missing lips. So we can go either direction. We can do a nice glossy lip, or we can do a nice ombre lip. It really depends on what you are feeling for, what look you're going for. So for lips, I typically have a rule. If the eyes are really dark and heavy, I don't tend to do dark and heavy lips. If the look like this is a little more neutral, you can do a nice deep burgundy red lip if it's like Christmas time, or depending on the holiday or occasion. Or you can still keep it simple. You can ombre the lips. You can line the lip darker and keep the center lighter. Put a little gloss on, and it looks very sculpted and nice. So I'll just give a quick demonstration of what that could look like. And we can use some deeper plummy tones. And a nice nude tone in the center with a gloss. So I'm going to use this gloss, this Fenty gloss. I'm going to use this nice nude tone. And I'm also going to use this deeper tone. I might mix it with this darker tone. And I like using a lip primer because it helps apply it easier. All off of Amazon, really cheap actually. You can get like 100 or 200 for like a few US dollars. I use a lot of products, and I don't like double dipping, so I always put things on a metallic spatula. You can get anything on Amazon if that's what you really feel like you want, or if it's just on yourself, use the back of your hand. So I'm applying the lip primer first to her lips. It's going to help moisturize, and it's going to also help the application to be a lot better. So I like to start off with the darker tones first. When I'm doing an ombre lip. And you can do this with any tone. So you can do this with reds. You can do a darker red and a lighter red color in the center. And it creates a spotlight effect, and it gives you that Instagram filtered full lip effect. I like getting enough product on the tip of my what do you call this? A disposable lip wand. And I just like lining the lips. I personally like lining the lips with a liquid lipstick because I find it just stays really well. full lips. So you can see at the top here if anything isn't even, and you can just fix it when you fold your lips in. You really want the lips to be as even as possible, or it will show in your photos. Something I have learned the hard way. You don't want to look like you have a high and low lip. So I'm just gonna line the bottom of the lip. If you smile as well, it helps to do it a lot smoother and quicker because you're pulling the lips taut, which means it's not going to have any creasing when applying. Wonderful. Now we have it lined and we left the center free. I'm going to apply the nude tone in the center. When you're choosing a lighter color to go with the darker color in an ombre, you want to make sure the undertones are right. Because if I chose a warm nude tone, this isn't warm, this is cool. It's a cool tone. It's not chocolatey, and it's not terracotta, and it's not orange or warm. It's cool. So just like in the nude tone I chose a cool nude tone so that it would not look very warm either. And I like to do the nude tone after because I find I could blend the darker tone a lot easier. So, and it blends a lot better too, like you could marry the two colors together. And you get this really nice, rosy nude tone. See how nice that already looks? What did I do? Let's have some black. So I just need a little bit more of this nude tone for the top. See how it's starting to blend and look really nice? That's what you want. You want it to blend. You don't want it to look like you just have a light tone in the center of the lip and then a dark tone on the outer parts. And then what I like to ask people to do is to blot. And that really helps. And then I'm just gonna put a little gloss. It's your preference. Not everybody likes gloss, but I love how a gloss looks on an ombre lip. It just looks so delicious. What? It's your preference if you want to keep the lips matte or glossy. Okay, and to finish this off, I'm gonna spray any setting spray or mist if you want to rehydrate the skin. And what I would also help you to do is to quickly touch up any way that you may need to go over that might have creased. I mean, I don't feel like anything creased much. But it's still nice to go over the lap lines. I find that's an area you must always go over before you finish your makeup absolutely. Okay, and this is the finished look, guys. Fabulous. Look at it. Okay,
Yeah.
what were the pressing questions? Start to finish, what I used?
Yeah, I want to find out.
Okay, Biore charcoal micellar cleansing water. This removes dirt, oil from the skin, excess makeup from your pores, and it actually works because even though you feel like you exfoliated your face or washed it, it's not very clean. This cleans it even better. People who have oily skin or combination, this is the best for you. Or they have the L'Oreal ones, but I find sometimes those feel a little oily. So that's why I like this one because it leaves your skin really dry and clean. Next, I would have primed the skin. Now I use Tatcha, expensive, but I like her. They have other alternatives that are like a balm. So it looks balm and it's a primer for the skin. You can use Professional, you can use Becca Poreless Primer, I think it's called. Yes, Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. Why is it so long? I don't know. But this is what it looks like, and I really like using this for people who have combination or oily skin. And Milk of Magnesia, not all over the face and not a whole lot. I put it in a squeeze bottle so it's a lot easier to apply and you won't use too much.
I just now I'm trying to zoom out of this thing, but I can't reach the.
Oh.
Okay, good. So we're going to see when you're talking now. So.
Yeah. Okay, do I need to go over that?
Not really, but more than seeing you.
No, I don't need to be seen. I just need to show it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right. So like I said, going over again, the Biore micellar water, or you can use L'Oreal. They have all these things in drugstores and Pennywise. Might be cheaper in Pennywise, to be honest. This primer, it's like a balm, the Tatcha primer, and you can use any balm primers that will conceal the pores, perfect and smooth out the skin. That's what you want. You can use this Becca Evermatte Poreless Primer. I rarely use her, you could tell. She's really good, but you need to apply these things with your fingers. Now I used a brush, but you saw how long I took to press it in. It's because I didn't really want to use my hands, but you can press it in. It looks better if you press it in with your fingers and blend it out in the areas that you find you get really shiny or oily, or the areas that you find your makeup doesn't hold as well. Always best to do that. And the Milk of Magnesia very sparingly, only in the areas that she may be oily. You use this, put it in a drop bottle, easy to use, you don't use a whole lot with your brush. And foundations, you always want to test them on the center of your chest. What I used on her is called, let me give it a quick clean, NARS Shea Glow, and it comes in this little bottle. The pump sells separately though, but you wouldn't think it looks so dark, right? But it's a nice olive tone and it matches her really well. And then for concealer, I use Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. You can use this to conceal, contour, touch up, highlight. So you see, conceal, contour, highlight, retouch. It's a multi-purpose and it's a lot larger than most concealers sell for. Look at the size comparison. And this was considered to be a big one when it first came out. And look, they just came out with a whole foundation in a concealer form, which I think is actually worth the price because it lasts me very long. So consider the fact that before COVID, I would have carnival, weddings, photo shoots, and these would last me for almost 6 to 7 months before I need to restock. That's really good. Imagine using it on yourself. You'll use it forever. Especially when you have